Hello, everybody. Welcome to Expression Pass here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host, and I'm excited Eddie V. Joining me is the one, the only boss man himself, Mr. Corey Derrick. Hello, good sir.
Hello, Ed. How are you?
I'm doing terrific. You actually had an idea for something. You sent me a message, and you didn't follow up with that message. I guess you would say. And so
I was.
So, do you want to? Do you want me to remind you what it was, or
I mean, you can set it up, I guess. Sure.
Okay. So we were having a discussion, and just out of nowhere, you came up and said, "Ed, I think I know how Nintendo could do live service," and I waited with a bated breath to know how. So, Courtney, how can Nintendo do live service?
Yeah, so I know a lot of people are real excited when they hear the term live service, Ed. But, if you've listened to Nintendo Power Block over the course of the last, I don't know, couple weeks, you know that I've been playing a lot of Nintendo's mobile stuff, more as like a research thing than a proper, like, I really want to play these things, although I did get sucked into Fire Emblem Heroes pretty hard. So obviously, like, some of Nintendo's mobile stuff is based in live service. Like, Fire Emblem is very clearly a gacha style game, which is fine, but also, like, you know, whatever. It's also like a real Fire Emblem game that you should actually probably play if you're a Fire Emblem fan.
Yes.
And then Mario Kart is just Mario Kart, but like has, you know, skins and costumes and stuff that you can purchase. And the thing that crossed my mind, Ed, was Nintendo actually is doing live service very well and very unpredatory to the point where like you can buy orb packs in Fire Emblem, right? Like,
Yes.
you know, they have like the $3 one, which gives you like 10 orbs or whatever, all the way up to like, I think there's a $50 one that gives you like 75 or 80 or whatever, right? And the more money you spend, the more bonus orbs you get, right? But like,
Yes.
Nintendo has a cutoff of how much you can purchase at each tier. So like, it'll like, if you buy, like, you can only buy 3 sets of the $50 orbs, right? Per month. They cut you off. So like, yeah, it's still like, okay, that's still like $150 if you buy that tier, right? And you can spend upwards of like $300 on orbs every month, but like, they're like actively cutting you off from spending so much money. And Mario Kart, it doesn't cut you off, but it does kind of limit you on like what you can purchase and what you should purchase and stuff like that based on your character level. Like, you can only spend so many coins in the store. You can only spend so many rubies, you know, in that, you know, the currency, the in-game currency or whatever. And like, you know, you can buy more, but like, they actively warn you of like, are you sure you want to purchase this? Like, they do it like 3 or 4 different times before they actually charge you. And then you have to like go through your mobile device kind of payment methods, whatever. So like, if you have an iPhone, you have to use Apple Pay to, you know, there's like a lot of, there's like a lot of speed bumps before you purchase anything in there. So like, it's actually not as predatory as a lot of other games are, you know? And so I just thought that was like a nice kind of refreshing take on a live service free to play something, right? Of like, here's what we're offering, this is what you can purchase. We're going to limit you because they probably just don't want the hassle that, you know, Fortnite has endured over the years, or like,
Yes.
you know, in Genshin Impact, or, you know, some of these games where kids are like spending, you know, their parents' credit card is attached to their account, and it's not password protected or parental controlled or anything. So they purchase like $1,200 worth of Fortnite skins
Ooh.
on accident or something. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that's, uh, and I just think that that was like a nice touch, to the point where I'm sitting there thinking about Nintendo's live service stuff, and I'm like, something like Mario Kart or Mario Party, even, or obviously Fire Emblem is a major one that I'm kind of looking at. If they were to do something other than a strategy RPG, like, they could really utilize live service to their benefit,
Hmm.
and actually like enhance their ongoing games, or their like Mario Kart, the Mario sports games, Mario Party are games that could like probably really be enhanced by some season pass thing. So like, for example, Mario Kart Tour, obviously their big mobile Mario Kart initiative, and it's fun, it's fine, right? It's like it's a it's a it's a phone racing game, right? Like,
Yes.
you point to where the cart goes, where you want it to go. You tap the drift button if you want to drift, and you try to win. And you can level up your carts and do all this other stuff, which I'm not saying that they need to add like the leveling up carts so you can go faster type
Hmm.
mechanic into a Mario Kart game. It's more the cosmetic stuff, right? Where like
Yes.
they've already kind of experimented a little bit, where like, oh, there's Mario, and then there's a Metal Mario, and then there's Tanuki Mario, right? Like, why can't you just have Mario, and then through like a season pass or something? Okay, here's the I don't know, spring fling pass or whatever, right? And like,
Yeah.
all the characters are in fun springtime outfits, right? I'm just using the Mario Kart Tour one that's kind of happening. It's not a season pass, but it's like a spring themed store right now, where
Yeah.
like, okay, Mario has his Mario Golf outfit on. Uh, Daisy has a like springtime kind of sundress looking thing on. You know, like the characters have different themed outfits. You know, the Chinese New
Hmm.
Year one was a couple weeks ago, and like they had like the dragon themed carts, and the, you know, uh Chinese themed gliders, and, you know, Peach was in a kimono, and like all the characters had different Japanese style clothing on, and or Chinese style clothing on, and, you know, some of the some of the courses changed based on the theme, right? Like, there was some Chinese lanterns hanging up across some of the levels, and it was kind of neat to see like the game evolve based on what the theme of the past was, right?
Hmm.
And like, a lot of it was actually earnable in the game, right? Where like you could unlock it through just playing the game. You know, I mean, obviously it takes longer because you're not purchasing it outright, but like, you
Right.
can grind the cups for coins, and then you can spend the coins on the outfits, and then, you know, you could spend your coins on, you know, the cosmetics for the carts. And I think that was like a really neat idea. And that doesn't mean like, okay, well, and my example of the level situation, by the way, is the Animal Crossing level in Mario Kart 8, right? Because it changes depending on what season it is. And I'm like, oh, well, that would be cool if you applied that across the entire game, right?
Right.
And not every level has to be that, right? Like, obviously there are themed levels, like the Legend of Zelda level, probably not going to change based on what event it is, or the, you know, like the F-Zero level or Rainbow Road or anything. But like, okay, Mario Circuit, that could definitely use some face dressing, right? Depending on
Uh-huh.
what event it is. And so I just thought Nintendo did a really nice job of like theming their characters and their carts and their levels around their kind of event that's going on. That you could buy like, and if you bought the tour pass, like, which is like their season pass, like you could unlock extra stuff, right? Like, oh, you can unlock some stuff early, or here's the, here's the cart that like only the tour pass gets or whatever. Like you could do that kind of stuff too, and kind of pick and choose what you want to buy and or work towards. And the other thing too is like they have these things in their tour pass called like they have event tickets or cart tickets or something, or like if you accrue enough of them, you can like use them to purchase things, or I think there's enough in-game currency to purchase the next tour pass, or like get a discount on it or whatever, which is what Fortnite does too, right? They give you enough V-Bucks in each pass to buy the next one if you complete it. But I thought Mario Kart Tour did like a really nice job. I'm like, man, they could totally implement some of this stuff into Mario Kart 9 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the cosmetic stuff, like the baseball costume for Mario, or and like, my son wanted to he likes Mario, so we loaded up Mario Odyssey today, by the way, for the first time in like a long time. And like you go into the Cappy's Cap store or whatever, right? And like they have all those costumes in there. I'm like, man, they could totally add all of these into like Mario Kart or something, because like this season pass stuff has like kind of been on my mind a lot lately. And then I'm like, well, Halloween costumes would be awesome for all these characters, right? Obviously, like the princesses are going to get witch costumes, right? Because like, Fire Emblem Heroes has a lot of. I showed you some of the costumes that have been unlocked.
Very interesting themed.
Yeah,
I won't go first quotation on theme costumes.
We'll say there's a lot of sexy witches in this game for the Halloween events. But like, you could totally do stuff like that. I mean, not like a sexy witch, but like obviously the girls are going to have witch costumes, and maybe Donkey Kong wears a barrel or something, or like there's a lot of different costumes you could do for these various characters, or like you could do like a Splatoon themed pass and unlock Splatoon characters, or you could do a Metroid themed pass and unlock like Samus's ship as a cart, and like if you participate in the event, you unlock Samus, right? And then like you like when the event comes around, you get Samus for free, right? But if you have the pass, you can unlock the different suit variants for Samus, right? And like maybe if you complete the pass, you get Zero Suit Samus, right? Like those types of things are the types of things that I'm thinking about when I'm applying these things to Mario Kart. Like also like Star Fox, you could unlock, the I almost said the X-Wing, the R-Wing as a ship, right? Because like they've unlocked ships before from like F-Zero. Like and like okay, so maybe throughout that pass you unlock the different Star Fox characters, but also you get like the Landmaster tank, or that weird chicken runner from Star Fox Zero. Maybe you unlock one of the dinosaurs from maybe you ride Tricky was the dinosaur's name from that, like as a cart almost, or like a dinosaur cart of some sort. Maybe you unlock Rob as a racer or something. You know what I mean? Like you could take the various Nintendo IP and just kind of apply it to a season pass. And when that season pass comes along, maybe through a free update, just knowing Nintendo, you unlock the characters, right, for that event or whatever. But as you participate in the event, you have the ability to unlock different things for that character. Or one of the things in Disney Speedstorm I actually thought was pretty cool, I guess you could say, if you can't say anything cool about that game, was like they have different paint jobs for the carts, and they have different like license plates for the carts based on the characters and everything.
Uh-huh.
Like different sayings and different, just different types of license plates and everything. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I know I'm talking a lot about Mario Kart, but you could apply that to stuff like Mario Golf, right? You could apply that to Mario Strikers. You could apply that to Mario Tennis. You could apply that to Mario Party is also the big one, right? Where like, here's a new event. Here's the board that goes
That
with that
would probably
event,
be like the first game to do like a big live
which
service.
is what I think people thought Mario Party Superstars was going to do, which was the remakes of the Mario, like the N64 Mario Party
Yes.
boards. And like they launched with 5 boards, and I think a lot of people thought they were going to do what Mario Golf and Mario Tennis did, where like unlock new characters every week until they're like, okay, we're done, right? And it was like, oh well, they're going to unlock new boards like once every couple weeks, right? Like they're going to go through like all the N64 games and just give us those boards, and they didn't, right? And that was a bummer. But like, I think if you kind of, because the rules don't really change ever in Mario Party. Like the biggest thing they added in the last 3 entries was the Jamboree Buddy, right? Which are
Yeah.
stupid. I hope they take them out. They're so dumb. I hate them. They mess you up so much. Like they really do. And they just add time to the game. And it's like, I just like, we're all sitting here playing, like all 4 of us. My wife was playing and my kids are playing, and like every time a Jamboree Buddy shows up, all of us get angry. Even my son, who's 3, who like doesn't even really understand what he's doing yet. Like just like, oh, like, and we got that guy here again. It's like nobody wants the Jamboree Buddy. Uh, but what they could do is like, oh well, here's the, I don't know, here's the Mario 64 boards. You can dress your characters up like the Mario 64 versions of their characters, or like,
Mhm.
remember in Mario Party 2, where they had like the different costumes based on each board.
Yes.
Like, have events that are based on like, here's the cowboy board from Mario Party 2. Oh, by the way, if you like purchase the expansion pack for this game, like you get the costumes for this board or whatever, right? And so like, it's those types of things that I think make a lot of sense for Nintendo to at least attempt to do.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not saying, don't ship a complete game because you're trying, to do these season passes, right? Because some games do that. And it's kind of annoying, right?
Hmm.
But I think you could ship a complete game. Like it's like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, right? Like that game, you ship that whole game, but like, they have all those extra levels, but like the game was complete when they shipped it, right? So like,
Yes.
there's some stability patches here. Oh, they added some characters over the course of the game, right? Like, but like, I don't know. And Smash Brothers is another thing I'm thinking of too. You know, like, oh, and they kind of did that with like the spirit boards, right?
Yeah.
But like, you could totally add new characters, like the Echo characters, right? Where they're like, oh, they have the stats based on this other character, but they're, so they kind of act like this character, but it's you still get a new character, and that's fun, right? And so like, I'm just thinking about, they could use that in Smash to promote upcoming games, like, oh, there's a new Xenoblade coming out, so here's the Xenoblade expansion pass, and here's the character from the new Xenoblade game. Isn't that fun? Um, Buy our game. I, I mean, do you have anything you want to say about the things I've said already before I kind of move on into other ideas that I've kind of
so
had?
so Nintendo kind of did it when Nintendo Level 5 kind of did this with um Professor Layton on the DS. Like every week you were getting new puzzles that weren't in the game. They were just new puzzles that you got on a weekly basis, and they did it like I think for like 2 or 3 months after the game came out, and they were
Mhm.
all free. I remember during I believe it's the Wii days, Nintendo or maybe the Wii U days, Nintendo had coined it ready to start.
Mhm.
So like even for like 3DS, or with some of their games, like you would download these games for free, and then every week they would give you something for free, or if you want more, they allowed you to pay for it. Um, for those items. Uh, so I think that for as a live service, of course, like you said, you mentioned Mario Party with more boards and the thematic passes that allows you to give you more content, whether you pay for it or for free. I think Nintendo no, I think Nintendo has enough knowledge that they can start incorporating it and making games live service because they know how to deliver this particular content, make some money off of it, and they know that players will definitely enjoy what they release and make it affordable. I think that's the thing with Nintendo and live service with them is that when they do stuff like this, they make it affordable
Mhm.
for people. And
Yeah,
then
I
still
mean,
give you the
also,
option.
like
Oh, go ahead.
oh, go ahead. Sorry. No, keep going.
Oh,
Sorry.
I'm just saying it still give you the option that if you don't want to buy it and it's still in the game, it's gonna take you longer to get it, but you still could get it. You just gotta work more for it.
Yeah. And also, like, if you're an expansion pack member, right, like an NSO
Hmm.
expansion or even just a normal, NSO member, maybe you get them for free or, like, if you're, like, a normal NSO member, like the $20 tier or whatever,
Yes.
maybe you get these expansion passes for free for these games.
Hmm.
But if you're an NSO plus expansion pack member, maybe you get these expansion passes plus the first 15 levels unlocked. Because you know how that, like,
Yeah.
Fortnite has like the $10 pass, which is like the base pass where you start at level one, or you can buy the $25 one and it unlocks the first 25 levels of the pass, right? And like,
Yeah.
and maybe that's how they like justify either increasing the price of NSO because it's still really cheap, right? Like $20 a year is like nothing.
Right.
And I even $50 a year is nothing, to be honest. Uh, but like, maybe it gets bumped to $25 a year and $60 a year. Um, and they just add this type of feature to that, because they kind of already add stuff to your games if you subscribe to it anyway.
Right. And like you mentioned Fire Emblem Heroes, like you get extra orbs or you
Yeah, I
get
mean, you already
certain
do.
things.
If you link it to your Nintendo account, you
Hmm.
already get extra stuff. Like I found that
Which
out just randomly. They don't even like announce that.
which I think for a live service with Nintendo, it's just like if you do add your NSO or your NSO Plus to this game, whether it's on mobile or a console,
Hmm.
you get extra currency
Hmm.
or items
Yeah.
that will help you throughout your journey of what you're playing.
Hmm.
And that would incentivize people to be like, well, they gave me 35. I'm close to 50 to unlock this character. If I There's a $15 pack, 15 ore pack for $1.99. Okay, maybe I'll get them that $1.99, get my 50, and then I can unlock the character that I want.
Hmm.
And then other people are going to feel that same way, that yeah, they gave you 35 orbs or whatever, and you need that other 15 to get there. Well, here go that $1.99, and that $1.99 adds up when there's multiple or plus million people who are playing this game who might want that character. And it's not Nintendo being greedy or anything. There should be like the option has already been here.
Hmm.
If you want to get to 50 without having to work for it, this is a quicker option. Is
Hmm.
is there if you want to do it. We're not pressuring you or anything. If you want to work for it, go and work for it.
Yeah.
You know,
So I just
because in a lot of live
yeah.
service games, most of them is at some point in time to make money off the game.
Hmm.
And it's a business thing. Nintendo is smart about it because um they know that if they can make it affordable, if they can make it easier to navigate and get, people will be like, okay, I could just get this, be done with it, and be like, yeah, cool. Like
Hmm.
what $2 gonna do? $2 not gonna hurt me. I spent $2 or more just trying to get like a 20-ounce Coke or something.
Yeah.
That's how some people will rationalize it.
Yeah. And I think obviously Nintendo's not going to get it right every time, right? I mean, this is
Hmm.
going to be new for them, but they clearly have some experience now with the mobile stuff and uh Mario Kart's DLC. And I think a lot of people forget
Splatoon is
that.
a good example.
Yeah, I mean Splatoon, like for Splatfests, right? Like or like leading up to Splatfest or whatever, like maybe you announce your Splatfest, like I don't know, how often were they? Were they every weekend or were they once a month? Or
That every weekend.
yeah, maybe you have like a Splatfest, like a pass or something that if you're an NSO member, maybe you get it for free or something. And like maybe you have different missions, like
The,
when you look at Fortnite, right? And they have
yeah,
missions that are uh they're called missions, but like I don't get like 25 kills with the submachine gun or whatever, right? And like
yeah,
then you get extra experience towards your season pass or your battle pass or whatever. And maybe you have these mini passes attached to the Splatfest to encourage people to participate more than just getting the shirt at the end, right? Maybe you get like, oh, if you participate, maybe you get like a hat that has a ketchup bottle on it or whatever, right? Like the
yeah.
ketchup and mustard,
And,
whatever.
and I was going to actually say that, like the ketchup versus mustard thing, everybody, they this is how smart Nintendo is. People got to debating about it, and in order to like really make your answer true, you had to participate in the game, and your team had to win. And don't forget, Splatoon, you're working with random people. You don't always have the same team. It's always mixed up, unless it's
Hmm.
there's some way to keep it all four. You know, and even the three ways, I think they had chocolate versus vanilla versus strawberry. I think
Something like
on
that.
one of the Splatoons, uh, like they could do that and everything. And what Nintendo's just like, well, if you want to pay for something, we have this as DLC expansion pass and everything, and it offers this mode, these weapons, and all of this. You can't work for them in the game, but if you want them, you could pay the $24.99 and get them. Oh, for those who are NSO members, and this is how Nintendo could use the live service to get people to expansion pass.
Hmm.
Um, if you want this free DLC, we can give it to you for free. All it takes is $50 per year being an NSO signed up member.
Yeah, and like like okay, you say that for Splatoon, and people it's the Game Pass subscription model, right? Where like
Mm-hmm.
one game is not worth subscribing to Game Pass for, right?
Yes.
But you look at Xbox's lineup this year, right? Okay, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black in January. Okay, probably not worth subscribing to Game Pass for. February, Avowed. Okay, that's a second game, $70. And two games are cheaper than Game Pass. I don't know, whatever. But then like, oh well, next month is Expedition 33, and that's another $60. And then
Right.
Doom the Dark Ages, that's $70. South of Midnight, that's $40. Uh, and you start adding it up, like, man, I should just subscribe to Game Pass because it's much cheaper than trying to play all these games, right? And that doesn't even include all the extra stuff. So you look at Splatoon, Splatoon 4 theoretically, right? And you're like,
Yeah.
all these extra things, $50 a year. I don't know if it's worth it. Mario Kart DLC, $50 a year. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. You add these together. The next, Mario Party has new boards attached to expansion pass. Oh, well, my family likes Mario Party. How much does that cost? $25, $30 for the expansion pack? I don't know. It's getting up there, right? Where like you start adding all these things up, you're like, oh, maybe I should just, and that doesn't include like, oh, the next Zelda might have DLC, right? Or,
Mm-hmm.
Splatoon might have a story expansion that's added later, or, Fire Emblem might have that, DLC that's added later. And it's like, oh, well, now it's starting to sound, and that's not even including the retro games that you get or the online service or anything else, right?
And I
Like,
think people, and I think that person would factor in, oh, this is a one-time payment for right now.
mm-hmm,
Once the renewal happens, I
yeah,
get to keep all of this
yeah,
unless I don't pay. If I don't pay, then I lose it all.
mm-hmm,
So,
yeah. That's what I'm saying, right? It's like it all adds up to where like it's expansion pass is becoming a better deal and better deal all the time,
mm-hmm.
and I still think like having that retro games catalog for $50 a year is still like a steal,
Yes.
which people complain about it, and I'm like, I don't know,
Well,
I don't know what you
I
want,
don't
guys.
know.
Not everything is free. You need to relax. Um,
Right.
I it's just all these things are adding up and adding up and adding up, and it's like, man, that you start planning it out right, and then like you start opening stuff up to like, that social media app we discussed with
Mhm.
Andre and Nintendo Music, and you start maybe, which by the way, something I didn't mention on Nintendo Power Block, but Fire Emblem Engage has achievements. It has an achievement system, and
Ooh.
it gives you points for completing certain things in the game, like almost like a gamer score.
Yeah.
And but you can turn that score into like bonds, like emblem bonds, but we don't have time. That's not the
That's another thing.
yeah, but
And
I just, but
I
like,
think
I
when
mean,
people,
but my point is like if Nintendo
oh,
Switch 2 games have achievements attached to them, which I doubt they will, but like if they do, like, you know, you start posting those on social media. Maybe you get coins to My Nintendo for posting to their social media app and
mhm.
doing achievements, and then
Look,
like you can unlock. Maybe you can use those platinum coins to unlock these passes. Like
well, I
there's all
think
kinds of things.
I think that's why the eShop is almost like a live service in a sense because your purchases give you coins.
Mm-hmm.
And when you stack up those coins, you could use those coins to buy other games or even DLC, depending on how much you spend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I think with Nintendo, and I was meant to say with the live service, everybody's probably thinking of games like Destiny, Overwatch, um, even Concord, like all of that stuff. But live service could be more than that. For Nintendo, live service isn't just first person multiplayer shooters.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game that is going to consistently continue to go, whether it's a first person or a multiplayer game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, that they could offer you something. you as a player. Pokemon, like I mentioned, Splatoon, Mario Kart that you mentioned, Corey, Mario Party, the Mario sports games and everything, Wii Sports, Wii Sports Resort. Like, there's so many options that Nintendo could take part of these games and make them a live service that everybody can play and enjoy. And if you want to get something, if there's a quicker way, then the quicker way is going to come at a cost. But you still can unlock it the a way that is intended by you just playing the game. It may
Yeah.
take a while, but if they know it, well, they don't know that if you're an impatient gamer or not, and you gotta have it because you don't want to do it. But if you don't want to do it, here's a payment option. We can unlock it just like that for you.
Yeah. So, it's just it's really interesting for what they could do in
Hmm.
this space, and that's not even counting like, okay, well, what if they make a free to play, and I don't know how they really feel about this type of stuff, right? But like, they could do a free to play, open world kind of action RPG. I'm just going to use Fire Emblem or Xenoblade as examples,
What
right?
was
Like
that?
the
Dragnolia?
Dragonia Lost,
Yeah,
which was their mobile kind of RPG that was kind of like Genshin Impact before Genshin Impact.
yeah,
Yeah, like you could do a sequel to that as like a Genshin Impact style game, which is like, one of the things I hear about Genshin Impact all the time is like, you could totally play that game without ever spending a cent in that game. And
yes,
it's like a fully complete kind of AAA experience, right? Infinity Nikki is kind of the same way, I think, from what I hear. And so like, you take those examples and you're like, man, like, then if you want to add like, okay, I'm just going to use Fire Emblem as an example because that's what I'm playing, and those are the characters that I know. I'm playing this, all right, and I'm like using these new characters, and I like them, and they're fun, they're great. But man, the Three Houses event is going on, and those character packs are right there, and I have some gold. I have some gold coins for the
hmm
eShop. Should I go ahead and get some? Like,
I
and then
I got a game
you
for
unlock
you that
you unlock a
go ahead.
5-star Edelgard, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm ready to go. That's my axe character that I've needed for however long. So, you have a game for me?
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles X literally could be a live service if you took out the plot.
I know. I know, because there's that whole multiplayer component too that nobody really ever talks about.
Yes.
Because it was on the Wii U, and why would you talk about it?
And the thing about it is customizing your robot.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you know? Don't you know how many people would go crazy for additional options to customize your robot? And talking about themes once again, you can have team up with Bandai Namco to get the Gundam edition. Because you already got a good relationship with them.
Or
Why
you could
not?
team up with Hasbro to get Transformers in there,
Yep.
which they did for Splatoon. Remember when they did Autobots versus
Yeah.
Decepticons?
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Like, team up with Microsoft to be like, hey, let's have a Halo event.
yeah. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to think of more, or like you get some really dumb robots in there, like a Chibi Robo, right? Like, what if you're flying around
Mhm.
this giant Chibi Robo, or Box Boy, or
Ooh, a
uh,
box boy event, and no, that'd be tight though.
yeah, or you know what else? You know what else? We're not. I mean, we're thinking these big, huge monster games, but like, what would be cool is like like a live service. You brought up Professor Layton earlier. Like,
Yeah.
what about Pushmo or Box Boy? Like little, like,
Yes.
oh, here, you can have the base game for free, but like here's a new puzzle pack for $5, right? And like it
With
gives you like
additional
20,
costumes.
yeah, like 20-25 levels and new costumes, and yeah, like you could totally do something that small too, right?
Right.
So
And you could do leaderboards and have additional like
yeah,
and Box Boy could go on. Box Boy has about what 3 or 4 games out,
yeah, 4.
like about 4 games out. That's additional content that you could do. Okay, you got the free to start game on mobile with 10 levels of Box Boy. You enjoying it? You how about we give you the reminiscent pack
Mm-hmm.
where you get 50 levels or with all the levels from the first Box Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Here go pack number 2, pack number 3. And what's so good with Nintendo doing them, they could spread it out for every quarter.
Yeah.
And then be like, okay, here go the bonus ones. Okay, how about we give you the color edition,
Mm-hmm.
like the Game Boy Color edition or something like that, like
Yeah.
a special one to celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I just think there's a lot of smart ways they could implement this without like making them like making their fan base freak out about spending more money, right? Because like
Mm-hmm.
people are already, people get mad when they can't get amiibo, or people get mad when they can't get collector's editions, right? And it's like, you don't want them to be mad about something else, but also I think there's a way to do this without being predatory or feel like you're shipping incomplete games. And um I just find it fascinating how well and I mean I've played a little bit of all of their mobile games over time, right? Like I'm going to tell you, I actually think Mario Run is their worst mobile game. Like it's not very good.
So
Um
I think that I feel like that game kind of was a test run. I think it
no,
shocked
it was.
everybody.
It totally was.
Yeah,
Right? I mean, it was their first mobile game outside of, I mean, I guess Mitomo wasn't really a game, but it was their
mm,
first mobile game. They wanted to try to prove that they could make a game that you could buy for more than 99 cents be worth purchasing on a phone, right?
and I think everybody was caught off. Sorry about that. Was caught off guard because it was Miyamoto at Apple conference.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see that, you be like, "Wait, what's Nintendo doing something with Apple to get a game on?"
Mm-hmm.
It was something completely different because Nintendo had the 3D, not 3D. Nintendo had the handheld on lock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think Nintendo was like in a really weird space at that time, right? I mean, it was pre-Switch, and Wii U was not doing very well, and the 3DS had slowed down quite a bit, and they were just trying to, I mean, they were doing the mobile stuff, they were doing the mini consoles, they were doing trying to push amiibo, like, you know what I mean? Like they were doing all kinds of weird stuff outside of consoles at that point, but um I actually think this would benefit them in a really cool way, and keep something like, keep Mario Kart 9 alive as long as Mario Kart 8 was, like or make Smash that much more interesting, because what do you do
Mm-hmm.
after Smash Ultimate? What do you do? Like what is Smash next to look like? Like what is that? Are you going to go back to 12 fighters? No, you like everyone feels like it's got to be bigger and include more characters. So like, what better way than to like, okay, well, if you own Smash Ultimate, you can carry it over, and Switch 2 is
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna be able to. There's gonna be more fighter packs, right? And we're gonna
Yeah,
add more stuff. We're gonna add more levels. We're gonna add more Echo Fighters, and
it's gonna feel like a brand new game because we're giving you more content.
yeah, and like maybe you ship with new characters, right? Maybe you add new characters to it too, right? It's like,
Yeah.
um, yeah, man. I think live service on a Nintendo platform would, just based on the mobile stuff, is really intriguing to me, and um I think they would do it right. Just, I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
based on limiting limiting you from purchasing things on their mobile stuff is like
Uh-huh.
very very telling of Nintendo, right? Of like,
And and that's so good of them because and it's not saying that they're taking the responsibility out of parents' hands or anything like that. They just know they don't want to deal with the headaches of parents calling in so much trying to get their money back because
mhm,
their child made a decision.
yeah,
You know, so if they're gonna be like, okay, you can make 3 purchases, that's it till the end of till next week or whatever.
hmm,
And the reason why we're doing it because we don't want to have any fraud charges because those people have to call their banks to be like, why do I have this charge on my card?
right, yeah. Yeah, so that's just kind of where I'm at. And I'm not saying go so far as like Fire Emblem Heroes, like maybe you don't need to sell cosmetics of like your main character in a basically
Towel.
bath towels or string bikinis or anything, right? But like, you could there's a cosmetics sell, right? Fortnite has made that
Yes.
very clear that cosmetics will always sell. Just throwing that out there, like,
I have brought a lot of 3DS themes. I'm not even gonna lie.
mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, look how PlayStation 4 themes, Xbox has themes, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they just give them to you, but you know what I mean. Like cosmetic,
Oh shoot.
people want to customize their stuff. People like customizing. People like making their games and their consoles feel like theirs, right? That's why there's so many different
Mm-hmm.
colors of Joy-Cons, and like why people buy like 4 or 5 sets to like customize their consoles. And it's it you give people the option, they will do it. And it won't, the cosmetic things are the biggest things. So
I'm trying to get the Ninja Gaiden 4 theme on my Xbox from my computer, and I can't get it for some other reason. It's
mm,
very, very weird.
well, why can't you just, it's not just added to your Xbox theme list?
No.
Should
I
be.
went I went and searched it. Um
It might be a Game
and
Pass subscription thing.
well, I mean Team Ninja put it up there on their Twitter and said you could download it from here. And it took me to the Xbox wallpaper website.
Hmm. I don't know.
Cause I went to the things on there and I was just like, okay, I see the vow, I see all of this, I see South by Midnight. Like, where's the Ninja Gaiden stuff? I'm like, that's what I want for my background because I got the Blue Dragon up right now,
Hmm.
and I want to change it to
Hmm.
Ninja Gaiden 4.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh man, good times.
Yeah. Well, Corey, I think we're gonna get out of here. Let us know, like, how do you see Nintendo doing a live service? Is there a particular game? How would you go about or hope Nintendo would exclude content in there, or not include content in there, and make it available and appealing to you as a gamer? We would definitely love to know. You could join us on our social medias and let us know, and join us on Discord. Hit us up. We definitely would like to talk to you guys. With that, everybody, have a great day, have a great week, and we'll see you next time on Expansion Pass. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. If you want to see how you can become a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/BossRushNetwork. The Patreon producers for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Matthew Keel, and Todd Oxtra. Thanks for your continued support of the Boss Rush Network.